Well, good afternoon, everybody. How you doing out there in Corona Land? Welcome to Midday with Mark. Glad you're here. Glad you're joining me for day 25. That's right. It is day 25. Day 25 of long hair. And as I said yesterday, the hair gets longer, the will gets stronger. Just like Samson, even though Samson was kind of a real dummy if you read the story. So the hair gets longer, the will gets stronger. Welcome to day 25, Midday with Mark. Glad you're with me, coming at you from Coraopolis, Pennsylvania, where I live. Glad you're here, either watching it live or watching it online. Glad you're with us today. So a couple things before we get going, and as we get going, hi Dean. As we get going, a couple things. Couple of business things. All right. Well, first of all, if you go to the river, you should have got this letter right here. Okay. If you haven't got this letter, all right, direct message me your address if you'd like to get this letter. It kind of fills you in on what's going on the river right now. And let me show you on the back side of this. We are doing a ministry called Feed the Healers. All right. And this is right here. You can see people from Swickley Hospital that we are dropping off meals. There's a list right here of things that you can buy. Also for another ministry we're doing where we have bins at our church right there. Okay, you can drop off on our porch and we will make sure to get to Light of Life Mission. Need you to do that by Friday. We'll be taking a load down there Friday. So get those supplies there by Friday. If you don't know what those are and you'd like to participate, DM me and let me know that you need it. But if you want to do the Feed the Healers, we are feeding twice this week, Wednesday and Friday. If you'd like to support that, hi Mike, morning. If you'd like to support that, go to our pushpay.com. It's a giving platform. Go on there, sign up, create an account. It takes a minute. Give towards the River Church. Look up the River Church. You'll see the blue swooshy lines as our logo. And then give towards Feed the Healers. Do you have a drop-down menu? Pull that down. Give towards Feed the Healers. We could really use your support for that this week. Wednesday and Friday we'll be doing that. So love to have you support that ministry. Well, welcome to my house. We have a couple things we're doing now each day. I've been adding new things. First off, the candle of the day. Ow, this thing's hot. The candle of the day burning over here is called Banana Bundt Cake. That's burning, smelling up the house really good. Banana Bundt Cake, because I only buy candles that I want to eat. Okay? So I only buy candles that I feel like eating. So, oh look, I have to put it out. Kind of put out the candle here. I'm messing around. So Banana Bundt Cake candle. What's your favorite go-to candle? Some of you like food candles, or do you like more like nature smells or fresh linen, or some people like hot dog. They smell like hot whatever. People like all kinds of different candles. What's your favorite candle? What's your go-to on candles that you like to get? So that's Banana Bundt Cake. We also have a pop of the day. See, this is just me letting you in behind the curtain a little bit. You can see what goes on at my house. So let me show you the pop of the day. This is the pop of the day. It's very appropriate for what's going on right now. This is John Bender from the Breakfast Club. Remember Bender on the Breakfast Club? John Bender from the Breakfast Club. Because it feels like we are stuck in the forever Saturday detention. That's what it feels like. Don't you feel like that? You're stuck in Saturday detention for the last month, and it's going to get longer till May 8th at least. But I know where I'm at, Allegheny County, we're not opening on May 8th. The rural counties are opening on May 8th. So here's John Bender. One of my favorite movies, The Breakfast Club, reminds me that we are all stuck in Corona land detention till at least May 8th. So there's John Bender. Gotta love John Bender. So he's my pop of the day. Oh, Mike Basic is a spice candle, cinnamon and vanilla. So there you go. I want to eat that too. So no, I said Banana Bundt Cake, not butt cake. Banana Bundt cake. Sorry about that, everybody. Definitely don't like butt cake. Nobody likes butt cake. Anyway, so I'm gonna give you a real quick moment. Christmas inspiration. There you go. Ah, it's my Christmas tree. It's still up, making you feel good all over the world. Wherever you're watching this. I know there's people in Maine who watch this, so that makes them feel good. So, all right, here we are. We're at. Do I have anything else? Oh yeah, we've been pulling one book off the bookshelf, and so today we're gonna turn around here and pull off a book from the bookshelf. And today's book is The Broken Way by Ann Voskamp. The Broken Way by Ann Voskamp. If you don't know Ann Voskamp, amazing writer, amazingly talented, beautiful writer. So that's Ann Voskamp. Check her out. She's great. I think you'll like it. So this is from the book called The Broken Way. This book won all kinds of awards, like Book of the Year. She has a chapter in here called How to Find the Heroes in a Suffering World. Seems appropriate, doesn't it? But she tells a story about going to Israel. And she tells this story about going to Israel, and she goes out with a shepherd in the fields. So like on the fields of Bethlehem, like pretty cool. And she talks about being out there and talking to this shepherd. All right. And this is what the shepherd said to her. You've heard that a shepherd will break a sheep's leg if it wanders from the flock. The man asks us, rod in his hand, rooted tree at his back. You've heard this, break its leg to keep it from breaking away from the flock. He shakes his head, disgusted. You've heard it preached, maybe, she says, in countless pulpits, but he says this. He says, look, he points out, a shepherd would never, ever break a sheep's bones. How would that be compassionate? How would that be merciful? Listen, this is what a shepherd does. This is great. So he talks about wandering sheep, how sheep, there are some bad sheep, all right? There's some sheep that are worse than others, all right? So, all right, but he says this. He explained that a shepherd may put a brake, B-R-A-K-E, on a sheep's leg, which is a weight. Oh, my mom, which is a weight. My phone was ringing. Sorry. Which is a weight to temporarily stop a stiff-necked sheep from running astray. So he puts a brake on it, B-R-A-K-E, not a brake, B-R-E-A-K. And once the sheep is close, once the sheep learns its own name, once the sheep learns the voice of the shepherd and the way he calls her, that sheep learns not to be afraid, to never be afraid. She trusts the way of the shepherd, the ways of the shepherd. The sheep turn and wander a path straight up the side of the hill, and they follow the shepherd. Okay? And then she writes this. This is our just real quick thought from Ann today. She writes this. Maybe it's the compassion of God that uses the unexpected to break, B-R-A-K-E, me. Listen to that again. Maybe it's the compassion of God that uses the unexpected, like what we're in right now, to break, B-R-A-K-E, me, so the unholy, so things that are wrong, sinful, that we should avoid, so that the unholy doesn't break me, B-R-E-A-K, me. So do you get that? Do you get that? Then she says, what's slowing me down and breaking me, B-R-A-K, could be a gift that's keeping me from breaking, B-R-E-A-K, into a bad brokenness. What's slowing me down and breaking me, putting a hindering me, could be a gift that's keeping me from breaking into a bad brokenness. Do you get her point? It's awesome. She said, maybe God allows these unexpected things to come in to slow me down so I can hear the shepherd, so that I turn away from the unholy things that will break me. And those are our idols. Those are our idols. So it's turning me away from my idols that will break me in a bad way and lead me into brokenness. So just a thought for you today from Anne. Great little thought from the book that you should buy that book. It's great. That we might be being broken. We might be being braked to avoid being broken in the wrong way. Just a little thought for you. All right. We are on day 25 of Midday with Mark. If you want to go back and watch the old ones, you can do that on YouTube or here on Facebook. Just look them up. Our YouTube is the River Franklin Park. But let me share with you. We started the series on Monday from Nehemiah. And so today we're going to do Nehemiah part 2. Nehemiah part 1 was titled A Broken Heart. Okay. And what we talked about in that was that Nehemiah was living in exile. The people of God had been carried off into exile from Babylon, into Babylon from Israel. And he had grown up in exile. And so Nehemiah had grown up in exile. His heart breaks for his homeland, which Jerusalem has been destroyed by the gates have burned down. The walls are destroyed, which we said was our pride, the things we take pride in and protection in. For Israel, those things had been torn down, the gates of the city and the walls. So anything we hold for our protection or we are take our pride in had been torn down. By the way, it's really weird today. Like everybody's going on and off live. It's a very weird thing that's happening. I hope you're all with me. If you are with me, let me know, because it's a very strange thing that's happening on my phone. I don't know what it is, but I think you're all still here. But anyway, so he says, so Nehemiah finds out about his homeland and his heart breaks and he is weeping. He is weeping over the state of his nation and his people, and his heart is broken. And we said yesterday that everything starts with a broken heart. Do you have a broken heart for what's going on in people's lives now? What's happening in the world, the state of people's lives spiritually, maybe even your own life. Do you have a broken heart over that? So that takes us to chapter 2, okay? And Nehemiah was a cupbearer to the king, okay? So what Nehemiah did was he tasted the king's food. He was an attendant to the king, this Babylonian king, Xerxes. He would taste the food to make sure it wasn't poison so that the king didn't die of poisoned food, because that's how people try to knock off kings, all right? So here's what chapter 2 says, all right? It says, in the month of Nisan, in the 20th year of King Xerxes, when wine was brought for him, okay, I took the wine and gave it to the king. I had not been sad in his presence before. It's very important when you go to the king, you're on your best. I mean, you are chin up, you are smile on your face, you are respectful, reverent. You are not sad in the face of the king, because the king didn't want someone coming into their presence that would just bring them down, right? They didn't want servants who would bring their bad demeanor into the room. And so when you went into the king, because if you failed, the king just gets someone else off with your head, bringing round 2, all right? Bringing the next guy, all right? Bringing the next joker, all right? It's like the jester, right? Make the king laugh or you're done. And so he comes in. The king asks, why does your face look so sad when you are not ill? This can be nothing but sadness of heart. Remember, we said Nehemiah had a broken heart. He had a broken heart for his people. He had a broken heart for the world. His heart was broken over the state of others. It wasn't his state. His state was pretty good. His life was decently pretty good, unless someone tried to kill the king, but his life was pretty good. And so there he is. He's in the king and the queen are there, all right? He says, this is sadness of heart. Then he says, I was very much afraid. All right. Because now here, look, what we're about to read, it takes courage. Okay. We said yesterday, it starts with a broken heart. And you always start there. Your heart has to be broken. We said yesterday, that's how God gets in. That's how the things of God get in, when your heart's broken. But you can't just stay with a broken heart. You know, that so many people just stop there like, oh, that's terrible. Oh, I feel so bad. I mean, I have tears running down my face, right? Oh, that's so horrible. But there is, man, people are calling me like crazy while I'm doing this. Okay, so but he moves, you have to move beyond a broken heart. And so Nehemiah moves beyond a broken heart. It takes courage to move beyond a broken heart. You can't stay with just a broken heart. You have to have courage. And he says, I was very much afraid. Okay, he was afraid. Fear is part of life, but you got to move through the fear. Like someone once said that uh, fear is faith that has said its prayers. I think I have that right. But you have fear, but you keep moving forward, all right, even though you're afraid. He said, I hope I said that right. He says, I'm afraid, but this is what he said. But I said to the king, may the king live forever. That's a good way to start. When you want something from the king, that's a good way to start. May the king live forever. Why should my face not look sad when the city where my ancestors are buried lies in ruins and its gates have been destroyed by fire? Now remember, he's talking to the Babylonian king. They're the people that did this. Okay? They're the people that did this years ago, but they did it. And he said, so you can understand the courage. He's standing in front of his oppressor. I mean, this guy's not his buddy, all right? And he says to him, why wouldn't my heart be broken? Which again takes us back to yesterday when it says, why wouldn't our hearts be broken right now? Why wouldn't your heart be broken? Why wouldn't my heart be broken over the state of the world, over the state of people? Hi, Annette. Broken over the way things are. And so this is Nehemiah's broken heart. Into courage, though, he starts to move forward. And because he presents his requests to the king, or he's telling the king what's going on in his heart, the king says this, what is it that you want? Now, this is one of the most important questions you'll ever be asked. Let's say you got it to go. In fact, you do. You get to go before the king every day if you want, multiple times in prayer to the king. And what if the king asks me, Mark, what is it that you want? What is it that you want? What is it? What is it that you want? And see, I get to go before the king, and see, it's not big enough. It's not worthy of the king to just go before him every day and say, well, I just want to be comfortable. I just want to have everything I want. And I just want everything in my life to be good. And I don't really care about what's going on over there. Like, what is it that you really want? What would you ask the king for? And people say, well, world peace. Well, okay. All right, come on. Yeah, all right. I get it. But let's be more specific. Like, what do you want? Do you want to see, like, if you're a Christian, do you want to see people come to know Jesus? Do you want to see people do you want people to receive justice and mercy and grace? Do you want families to be whole and complete? You want your family to be that. It's okay to pray for, like, I want my kids to be okay and all that stuff. I get it. I pray that for my own kids. But what about, like, I've heard people say this, like, I want my kids to be better off than I am. Well, in which way? Like, do you pray for your kids to be better off spiritually than you? Like, they love Jesus more than you? Like, they're stronger in their faith? Or you just want them to make more money than you? Like, my father never made a lot of money. My parents never made a lot of money. And I'm sure maybe they wanted me to do better, but that wasn't their measurement for what they wanted for us. They wanted us to be godly people. They wanted us to grow up to be men, my brother and I, men of integrity. They wanted us to be good. They want us to be good people. They want us to really be followers of Jesus. That's what they hoped for us. And they got two of them. So what is it that you want? What do you want? What do you really want? And then, like, are you willing to, if the king says to you, okay, and Xerxes, we're not going to get to it today, but Xerxes says to him, all right, here you go. I mean, if the king says okay, then are you willing to move forward into that and do it? This is all about rebuilding. We said we're going to have to rebuild after this. Whenever this quarantine ends, we're going to have to rebuild. And it's going to take people who have answered the question, what is it that I want? What is it that I want? And am I willing and I have the courage to go and do it? Do I have the courage to move forward? And what, God, if the king says, okay, because here, I think the king's waiting to answer us. I think the king's waiting to say yes. Like, hey, I want to see my entire neighborhood come to Christ. And the king says, okay, let's get to work on that. I want to see people in my community taken care of. All right, God says, all right, let's get to work on that. Like, are you willing also to be the answer to your own prayer? I mean, what if God's saying, Wolf, because I think a lot of times we don't ask for stuff because we know God's going to say, well, why don't you do something about it? Or like we say, well, God, why don't you do something about this? And we go, God says back to us, why don't you do something about it? Like, I put you right here. So that's Nehemiah day 2. Come back tomorrow for Nehemiah day 3. Leave your comments. I mean, tomorrow is like a Wild West. I love tomorrow. Nehemiah, the third part. It's pretty cool. But leave your comments. Leave your thoughts. What is it that you want? I'd love to see you put in the comments. I'm going to challenge you all. Put in the comments, whether you're watching this now or later. Put in the comments what it is you want. What is it that you really want? What is it you really want God to do? What is it you want? And are you willing to have the courage to not only ask for it, but to then work towards it? That's my thoughts for today on Midday with Mark. Glad you joined me. Yep, it's about time to get out of here. So glad you've been with me. Take care. Be safe. Be wise. Stay at home for right now. Love you all. If you ever need anything, just DM me. Let me know. Support the Feed the Healers. Support Feed the Healers. Support Light of Life Mission. Looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow right around noon. Bye, everybody. Take care.